So we just went down a bit of a rabbit hole here before we started recording.
Monkey hole.
Yeah, monkey hole. Francesco's buddy lost his thumb in an accident, I'll call it, and we were wondering what animals have opposable thumbs. So we kind of just went on a little rabbit hole, monkey hole. So
Yeah.
monkeys obviously have opposable thumbs.
And
What
see, we
else?
thought
What else,
we th
Francesco?
we thought they didn't because you said that's what separates us from monkeys. But if they have thumbs, then
Yeah.
what does separate us from monkeys, really?
Yeah,
You
what
know,
separates us? Yeah, that's a
is
good
this what
point.
is this what Planet of the Apes was about? Is this, we
I
aren't
think,
actually that
yeah,
different?
I think what separates us from monkeys is that we're humans and they're not. So
Okay,
that's
but they're. I guess that's a good point.
and raccoons, right? Francesco, raccoons have opposable thumbs. Little fucking trash pandas. Opossums. Hey, what's Boris? What's those things in Australia that have hard asses that you don't want to hit with your
Oh,
truck?
oh, wombats.
Wombats. I always get those two confused.
Yeah, I don't know
What the
if they
fuck's a
have a.
wombat?
It's basically like a beaver, but without the big tail.
Oh,
That's the
do
most
they like
Canadian way I could describe it.
do they like chew on logs and stuff too and build dams?
No, I think they just
Okay, so it's not like a beaver.
no, they chew on my my bumper when I
They-
smoke them. No, I haven't hit
Are
one
they?
yet.
How big are they?
Probably like a medium dog size.
Oh, so they're big.
They're big, yeah. They're
Yeah.
low to the ground. Like you can't see them. I feel so bad when I see them on the road, like dead and stuff. But like they're really low to the ground, and a lot of them get hit. Yeah, but
They're like badgers then. Badgers are they're like pretty low to the ground, but they're also kind of big.
yeah. Do badgers have thumbs?
I don't know. Hey, do badgers have thumbs, Francesco? The guru, he's working his magic.
Yeah,
We're about to find out.
This is why we have a podcast guru to look up stupid shit for us.
Yeah. No, they don't.
Okay.
They don't. They have 5 toes. Shit. Yo, badgers are actually pretty aggressive, I think.
Do we have any in Canada?
Yeah, we do in BC, man. I've seen them before.
Oh, really?
In BC, we only have like an estimated like 300 badgers, and I've seen like 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They have
So
Wolverines too.
yeah, we have wolverines. Yeah, I've always wanted to see a wolverine.
I've seen them. You can hunt them.
You can hunt wolverines.
You
I know you
can,
can
yeah.
trap them.
Yeah. I've seen them,
Shit.
but
Did
anyways,
Enzo see one up at the lake?
Yeah, he did.
Damn, that's
All
crazy.
The way up at Spring Road.
Oh shit! No way. That's crazy.
are we still like? Is this still an episode that we're telling people about?
Yeah, this is still an episode. So yeah, we skipped the intro on this one. So what's up, everyone? Welcome to FGC Behind the Smoke. Badgers do not have thumbs. What up? Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah. If you're still listening, we got a pretty good one for you here today, or what we think is a good one. What's our topic about today, Damo?
Yeah, this is a good one. So 3 firefighter terms you should know before hitting the fire hall.
Yeah.
You should know about these terms, know some facts about them as well and stuff, because these are when it comes to the fire science side of things, these are some things that you want to be able to recognize in a fire, because they have the potential to kill you if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can come into the fire hall right off the bat knowing these terms, not only are you going to show your crew that you're, somewhat more prepared for whatever comes next, but that, you're taking it seriously. You're taking the time to actually know your 1001s. And if the bell strikes the moment you get into that fire hall on your day 1, which does happen sometimes, you'll know how to recognize them.
Yeah, exactly. So these are essentially like we're breaking down like the 3 most dangerous fireground phenomena, basically, that like every firefighter needs to be aware of, needs to understand, needs to know the warning signs. It could potentially save your life, right?
Yeah. What's the first one we're going to talk about, buddy?
So the first one is Backdraft. And we're not talking about the movie. I've actually never seen that movie.
What? Dude, it's the
Yeah.
poster's right behind you.
I know. It's kind of embarrassing. I wish I didn't tell you that.
Yeah, that's Francesco,
So
take his microphone and headset away. Let him
I'm
look at
fired.
wombats. Yeah, let him look at
Yeah, I'm
wombats.
fired. So yeah, so a backdraft. I'm sure you fire applicants have heard of a backdraft, whether it's from the movie or from when you did your fire academy. Um, what's the definition, like a brief definition of what a backdraft is, Boris?
Right. So we wrote these down because we didn't want to just wing it. These are pretty important things. Like Adamo said, like they could potentially kill you. So we do want to make sure we get the definitions right. And we talk about, some things like warning signs. So we got some of that written down here so we don't miss it.
Yeah.
Definition is rapid ignition or explosion when oxygen is suddenly introduced into an oxygen depleted fire environment.
Yeah. So, like say like a boarded up building or something like that, right? Where there's been a fire inside, but that fire is now deprived of oxygen, right? So, some warning signs of that would be like smoke stained windows. You can actually see, it looks like the fire's like the building is almost like breathing, like it's like puffs of smoke are kind of coming out of it, like pulsating almost. That's a sign of a backdraft. um
Have you been to any fires down with backdraft signs?
I'm trying to think. I think I have. Yeah, I think I have before. It was a commercial like storefront building, and yeah, it was for sure, because I remember like I was on probation. I remember like one of the guys on my crew was like, "Do you know what that is?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a backdraft, right?" So like you obviously have to be very aware of that and be careful when it comes to introducing oxygen into that fire, right? Because by introducing oxygen, that's when you're going to get that explosion, right? I've heard of stories too, like when you look at some line of duty deaths and stuff like that. Um, they introduce oxygen into the fire, like say they breach a door or something like that, and uh, the pressure differential of the fire sucking in that oxygen can be so intense that like you could potentially get sucked into it,
Right.
right? Obviously, that's depending on how big the fire is, how deprived of oxygen it is, how big the opening is, right? There's a lot of variabilities that go into it, but it's super dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the most dangerous things. And like, I'm trying to think of, I've been to a backdraft fire before, and it was like you were kind of explaining an example, which is like a boarded up house,
Yeah,
but we couldn't see the windows because it was dark. Uh, so like that's whole smoke stained windows thing, we didn't see it, but there was like that puffing in between the eaves in the at the roof,
yeah,
right? So I can't remember what we did. Maybe just use like a pike pole to like break a section of a window and then just start penciling in. I
yeah,
can't recall, but like if you guys are in that kind of situation, like if it's 2 a.m., you're called to a fire, it doesn't look like anything. Look for those signs because it's way more difficult to find those signs at night, right? Than
totally.
trying to find them in the day. Even like puffs of smoke. Like sometimes if you don't have the engine, if the driver doesn't have like the lights pointing at it, right? You might not even see that either because it's like very small, faint puffs.
It's pretty subtle,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Uh
it's pretty subtle. You can look this up on YouTube too. Like there's really good videos on YouTube of like what a backdraft looks like, and as well as the other two ones that we're going to cover as well. There's a lot of good YouTube videos. Maybe like when we post like a little clip of this on our Instagram, we'll put a link to maybe some YouTube videos or something in the caption.
yeah, that's a good idea. Cause yeah, it's so dangerous because especially because usually as a rookie, you're going to be, first or second one in, most likely,
Yeah,
right? You usually have an officer behind you. You're kind of opening up the door. And if things are heated or in the moment and nobody sees it, like it's your face that's going to be first in that backdraft. So,
yeah,
uh, and another thing I see a lot of times, like even probies or people that have just been on the job very short time, like they forget to put their visor down. So like you're just be safety conscious because you don't know what's behind that door a lot of times, and you don't know if the person opening up the door, if like let's say you have a nozzle and somebody else is opening up that door, you can't rely like that's your brother, and you trust them 100%, but you can't rely that they're going to be able to steadily hold that door or just open it a crack, and they might let go. It might like you said, suck the door in if it's an inward swinging door. You don't know, right? So
Yeah.
if that door violently opens for whatever reason, like it's your face that's going to get melted in there. So keep
Yeah,
that in
you got
mind.
to be aware. This is these three that we're covering. You really need to be aware of. They can. A lot of firefighters have died because of these things. So like some survival / kind of tactics that we've written down here, like always have control of the ventilation, right? Use disciplined door entry techniques, right? Because obviously if you're breaching a door, you're forcing a door, that's where you're going to really create that environment where it's going to be able to suck in that oxygen and create that backdraft, right?
Yeah.
Don't go charging in, right? You got to read the building before stepping inside. You got to be aware of what you're going into.
Totally. That's almost like a mantra for the entire fire service. Don't just jump in or run in. Be self-aware, have some what do you call it?
Awareness.
Thanks. Yeah. Situational awareness.
There you go. Nailed it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is honestly, man, it's tough. Like at 2 a.m. and like we said, like it's not actually, maybe it comes in as an alarms or something, right?
Yeah.
You don't know, especially like Adabo, you and I work in a pretty big city, so we're usually on scene pretty quickly. But like if you're in a rural department, that fire could have been going on for a half hour, and now it's died down because there's no oxygen, and you open up that door, introduce all that oxygen in, like you're done. Especially at a farm where the light source is not readily available. You don't have street lights, so very, very dangerous.
I was gonna say, like, if you're in more of like a rural department where like you said, Boris, like it's a lot darker, it takes you longer to get to the scene, you have less personnel there. That's that's where it's really gonna where it can really like go south fast, right?
Yeah, that's a good point about personnel. Like, even if something does go, like, first of all, if you don't have enough people, not everybody will be able to see it, or not, you're gonna have less eyes on the building. And then if something does go south because you have less people, you may not have a designated RIT team, or designated RIT, or designated people ready to help you afterwards as well, right? Ambulance might
Exactly.
be like an hour away.
Yeah.
If your department isn't amalgamated, or if you don't have EMTs or anything like that in your department. So yeah, very super dangerous, super dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So Backdraft. Learn it. Watch some YouTube videos on warning signs of backdrafts. It's pretty interesting stuff, honestly. Like the fire science stuff is I find it pretty interesting.
Unless it's
And
hazmat, then you give me shit.
unless it's hazmat, then yeah, I'm out. Snooze fest.
But even the movie Backdraft, to be honest, like some of those explosions or some of the signs like that, it wasn't too off. Like obviously don't use it as a learning tool, but like it can get pretty violent.
I gotta watch that movie.
Yeah, man. Kurt Russell did. It's come on.
Yeah, I know. I'm embarrassed that I even said that. I haven't seen it. I'm probably the only firefighter that's never watched Backdraft.
Yeah. Well,
What was that other one too? Ladder something. Ladder
49?
69 or whatever. Yeah, 49.
60. You're watching the wrong movies over there.
My bad.
That's that's a different version. But I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen what was actually really good was Only the Brave, wildland firefighting up in California.
Dude. Yeah, that is a good movie. And that was the Granite Mountain Hot Shots.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, true story. Really sad. Basically they all died except for one guy on their crew who was like in a lookout position or something. But anyways, I don't want to basically just ruin the movie. But
I don't want to spoil it, but I'll just spoil the whole thing.
yeah, I'll just tell you the ending, the most important part of the movie. If you guys haven't seen that movie, that's a great movie. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Great learning too. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how quickly things can go south. Like I'm doing a lot of bushfire training here in Australia, just with the CFA, which is like their kind of volunteer rural departments. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude, it's nuts. Like it's crazy how quickly things can go south for you. But yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this episode is like keep your head on the swivel.
yeah, exactly. Which leads us into our next one, which is, where are we here? Flashover.
Flashover. Yeah. Again, reading off the definition so we don't leave anything out. The near simultaneous ignition of all combustible materials in a compartment once critical heat is reached.
Yeah, so basically, like everything in the compartment basically reaches its ignition temperature and simultaneously combusts, like basically all at the same time.
Yeah, you can kind of see it like if you have a wood fireplace, if you know your fire's been going for a couple hours and you know embers are really hot, you throw in a couple more logs in there and they both just ignite at the same time all of a sudden. That's basically
Yeah,
flashover, right?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
They've reached that combustion temperature, right? I think like the actual temperature of, well, they don't know the exact temperature of a flashover, but it happens like, I think it's like somewhere between like 900 and 1100 degrees or something like that, but it can happen really quick. And there's some warning signs that you definitely need to be aware of. Boris, do you want to maybe talk a little bit about the warning signs of a flashover?
yeah, it's again, it happens really quickly. You know, lowering the smoke layer, it'll come way down. Like if you had some visibility in the in the building or wherever you are, and all of a sudden it just goes dark on you, that's never a good sign.
No.
It basically means the thermal layer is being pushed down, right? And the further down it goes, the hotter the entire place is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that kind of coincides with like extreme heat pushing down on you. Like if it's suddenly starting to get a lot hotter, that's never a good sign because what are you in there to do? Right? You're obviously not doing it if it's getting hotter.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so yeah, have you been in a flashover?
No, no, I
No.
haven't, thankfully. Have
Yeah.
you?
No, but my buddy has. He works for a
Yeah.
rural department. And again, way more dangerous in that sense because the temperatures do end up getting to that point more likely in a place that's been burning for longer, right? So
For sure.
he showed me his helmet afterwards and it was yeah, it's crazy. Because yeah,
It's
like
scary.
yeah, like you said, everything just turns into fire, right? So like his entire body was basically on fire. He got out there, or he got out, luckily, thank God, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, the helmet afterwards was just like basically a reality check for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's terrifying, man. And like another warning sign too is like if a rollover is starting to happen when you're in
Yeah,
there and you notice like, flames are starting to roll over you, and that's, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is like, start flowing water, right? Because you want to cool that environment as quickly as you can.
yeah, and that's actually maybe we should do an episode on this later some point. But man, that's my pet peeve when I see some like YouTube videos of guys pulling up, in a department, the fire's ripping. They got a camera on their helmet, like they're in combat, and they don't put any
Yeah,
water on the fire. And they're like, oh, they just go around the back to go into the basement and like fight it from the inside. It's like, dude, put water on that ASAP because like you're
yeah,
you're creating a flashover environment. So,
totally. Yeah,
um,
yeah. I mean, the best thing that you can do is start flowing water and start cooling that environment, right? I've seen those videos too, Boris, and it's just like every time I see videos like that, I'm like, why are they not putting water on the fire? I saw one recently actually where they had a ladder, like just like I think it was just a 24-foot ladder or something, and nobody's putting water on this fire at all, and all of a sudden it flashes over and you see two firefighters come fucking barreling out down the ladder, and they've obviously got severely burnt. It's like there's a hose line outside the building. Like, why was somebody not like penciling in that hose line through the window before anybody went in there?
Yeah. It's mind-boggling. It's basically showing the world through your helmet camera that you don't understand fire science, you don't understand your job, you know.
Yeah.
And then not only that, like you're putting somebody else in the risk. So now if you're not putting water on the fire, and you go in there and there is a flashover, now someone's gonna go in there and grab you,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
it's
You've
just
created an unsafe environment for everybody else as
yeah.
well.
Not to speak, not to even mention the taxpayer or the person whose home it is, like looking at you being like, what the hell, man? Like, at
Yeah.
least half my house could have been potentially saved.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's crazy. I hate, like, it just irks me to see those videos online because you're just creating such a terrible environment for literally everybody involved in that fire, the customer and your crew, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, exactly. What are some like survival kind of tactics that we wrote down here to be aware of and things that can kind of help you out in that environment?
Yeah, I think you kind of touched on it, like right away, shoot water, right? As soon
Yeah.
as you can, cool it down. You're cooling the gases, you're controlling, you're trying to control the environment, you're trying to reset that fire clock. Always know your exit paths. That kind of goes for any call you go to, even if you go to an alarms, like know which way you came in from if something goes sour,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, just stay low. Just stay like if that thermal layer, that smoke is coming down on you or pushing you in that heat, like yeah, you have to go down. But I found that like a lot of fires, like we'll talk about it in the next one because I've been in the next situation that we're going to talk about, but like it's you're like you could potentially be in like a hoarder home or in a cluttered home or stuff's floating. Like you may not be able to get low enough because like there's a foot of
Yeah.
water underneath you or something, like
Yeah, or there's a bunch of shit in the way, right? There's a
totally.
lot of hoarder houses like out there, right? And I mean, we could honestly probably even do like an episode on that, how dangerous that is for firefighters too. But yeah, like you're saying, Boris, like you might not even be able to get lower than the thermal layer because there's just so much shit in the way.
Yeah. And now that thermal layer is down, the smoke is all the way down, and now you have no visibility of your egress either, right? And now you got to follow a hose line. Hopefully you had a hose line going in there. And yeah, it's just bad situation, right? It kills firefighters. And if you can know about these things as a probie or even like, a 1 year, 2 year firefighter who's a little rusty on their skills, like yeah, polish
Yeah.
them up because these things can kill you, right?
Yeah, for sure. So our next one, rollover. So Boris, you were in this situation actually, and you know what? I think you were in this situation with somebody on my crew because I
I
think
was.
yeah, because they had actually told me about that, and I was like, Boris never even fucking told me about that. So, uh, maybe you can talk about that a little bit. But the next one on our list here, the last one is a rollover, which we did kind of talk about because a rollover and a flashover, essentially like a rollover happens uh, kind of before a flashover, right?
Yeah, the definition that we wrote down is flames moving through the overhead gas layer. So superheated gas ignite before full flashover. So yeah, it's basically a prerequisite for a flashover. All these gases are rising to the top. Obviously, the hottest goes to the top. And then
Hmm.
basically they're so hot, there's so much fuel up there as well that it just ignites. And basically it just looks like yeah, it just looks like it's rolling over the ceiling. It's kind of like a wave of fire. This is the best way I could describe it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
scary shit, man. It's not. It's yeah.
Yeah, that's scary, man. What do you want to just like talk about like the situation that you were in, like what happened and
Yeah, I think yeah, basically yeah, we got there. We were first in. I think it was a basement fire, so of course, right off the bat, dangerous. It was Christmas time, and we actually find out later it was a Christmas tree that caught on fire, so that's why it got ripping really quick.
okay.
We penciled in, like we broke a basement window and started resetting the fire clock, right? We started putting water on it. But by the time we actually entered the basement, it got back up to like superheated. So like that tells you right there how dangerous that was, right? Because like even with putting water on it and then trying to go interior and fight it and find the seat of it was already back to what it was. And I don't think it was a hoarder home. I think it was just a small home with a lot of kids, which obviously,
Okay.
as you know now, Damo, with your almost 2 month old and my 2 month old, like there's shit everywhere, right? There's
For
kids
sure.
stuff, and so I think that was in the way. So we were trying to fight through a bit of water that we already put on the fire, and through all those kids' toys and all this stuff that was on the ground. We had no visibility, and yeah, basically your crewmate tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, look up. I had the nozzle. He was behind me. And I looked up and it was just this fireball, dude, just rolling over us behind us. And it was lapping us. It was getting behind us. We were maybe a room or two inside the basement. So we were like almost to the seat of the fire. You could feel it getting a bit hotter, but we couldn't see it. Right.
Yeah.
And it's that like you've been in those fires at Damo before where it's like, there's a fire. You can't see it. You can feel it, but
Yeah. You can
like
feel the heat.
you can feel the heat, but you have no idea where it was. Like my gloves were burning on the ground because I was crawling. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like I know we're getting closer, but I can't see it. So when he said that, I looked up and I just started hitting it. And he's like, let's get out of here. And he just pulled me basically uh by the collar and we just made our way back and just that house was gone essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Damn. That's scary, dude.
Yeah, not something you want to be in, but that's the reality of the job, right? Like that's kind of you sign up hopefully knowing that those things can happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dangerous. Um,
For sure. Yeah, and like we wrote down like for the survival tactics and stuff, like basically everything that you did in that like that you and my crewmate did in that situation, right? Like cool gases overhead, communicate the conditions immediately, which he did to you, right? Don't get tunnel vision on the seat of the fire. You got to look up, right? You got to
mhm.
be aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah, and I was lucky to have him and have him have my back because he's a great firefighter. And when you're on the
Yeah.
nozzle, like you do get sometimes that tunnel vision. You're crawling, so obviously your head is down. You're trying to find the
Yeah.
fire. You may not have a tick on you, and yeah, I think we had an imminent rescue at that point too, which obviously makes it even more dangerous.
Yeah.
So you're kind of going faster than you maybe would have if it was just a fire, if it wasn't an imminent rescue fire. So
Yeah.
yeah,
For
man,
sure.
it's just not a good scene. And the thing is, that was broad daylight. I think that was like early afternoon or something, maybe like late morning. So like we had
Yeah.
great visibility outside, but the moment we got in, it was yeah, crazy bad.
Yeah, that's wild, man. And like you said, like when you're on the nozzle, like it is easy for you to get tunnel vision because you're just, and if there's an imminent rescue too, like, I mean, you're just thinking about like getting in there and finding that person and getting them out, right?
Yeah,
But you gotta be aware of what's going on around you too, right? You have to remind yourself that, that, if shit hits the fan, and a rollover happens that leads into a flashover, like you're you're not going to be able to help that person at all because you're probably going to die yourself, right?
yeah, yeah,
Or at
exactly.
least get very badly burnt, right? So
Yeah. All in all, I mean, that family lost their home. I think they lost a few pets, but I think we got everybody out safely, which is good. But yeah, it could have been way worse, right? It could have been 10 times worse. So good on, like I said, I had a good team with me and, he was looking up when I was kind of looking down and I was on the nozzle and he saw it. And yeah, I'll never forget that, man. He just kind of like grabbed me. He's like, kind of almost like put my head up. And I'm just like, it's just like,
you're like, oh fuck.
yeah, oh no. Yeah,
Man,
but
that's crazy.
yeah, same thing. Like our engineer was right on it. Like we got water. Yeah, we got water on it right away. Hit it from the outside. Like, yeah, I'll still remember that fire because it's just like we thought we did everything right, but at the end, sometimes it's just a loss, right? And
Yeah.
you have to remember that uh your life is not worth the Christmas tree or the presents that are already burnt under the tree. Like it's
Yeah.
just
For sure, right? Like there's a saying in the fire service, like we risk a lot to save a lot, but we're not gonna risk as much to save a little. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Nothing that
um,
assurance can't cover, right?
exactly, yeah, yeah. So, and like all three of these, rollover, flashover, backdraft, they all kind of connect in a way, like not sequential, but like they're linked by the fire conditions, right?
Mm.
So like all three of these that we just covered, they're all signs of like a hostile fire environment, essentially, right?
Yeah. It's the most, it's the most, how would I put it? Like, it's the quickest way to get burnt, right? Like if you go to like a medical call or, outdoor campfire, you have the time to think, you have the time to kind of check out your awareness, your, communication and all that stuff. But like
Yeah,
on these three, like you said, Adamo, it's hostile, man. Like it'll take you in
yeah,
seconds. Um,
yeah,
so if you can go into these, practically, and if you're a probie or like you're junior person on the job, like encourage your crew or like encourage the people around you, including the probies, to know this stuff, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Have that
Yeah,
kind of have that mentality, like positive educational mentality, where everybody should be on the same page with events like this, like knowing what they are. Because yeah, dude, it's scary. Like when I don't mean like scary as in like these events, but the people not knowing these events. Like I've had probies before who have thrown questions out before, and they don't know the signs of a backdraft or signs of a flashover.
yeah,
It's like you've been a probie for how many months? You've done your 10-01s, and if we or you're saying right now to me that if we caught a fire today, that you would know to tell me that this window is stained, smoke stained, and there's puffs coming out the eaves, and I'll just be opening up that door.
yeah,
So yeah, that's kind of scary. Is I think a lot of people don't actually harp on it early.
yeah, yeah. I agree, man. It's definitely it's one of those things that I think everybody assumes that everybody knows, but you'd be surprised that especially with newer firefighters and probationers, of them not being aware of that, right?
Hmm.
um door control, ventilation, like those are really big. Cooling the environment, like those are all really big factors in mitigating these types of situations from happening, right?
Mhm.
um
Yeah,
like,
having
and we preach this like on our podcast a lot, but like you should always be learning, right? Keep learning and like revisit this kind of stuff like every now and then, right? Okay, like what are the signs of a backdraft? Okay, what are the signs of a flashover? Right? Like revisit this stuff, right? So you don't forget it.
100%. And there's cool studies out there now too. Like, there's things like reading smoke, or art of reading smoke, like knowing what brown smoke means, what black smoke means, what like puffing white smoke means, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot of cool other things that will help you within the these three as well, right?
yeah, for
Knowing
sure.
like knowing how a tick works and really getting really good at that. Like a tick is a huge tool in the fire service, and especially these three events, right? Like if you can throw a tick up at the ceiling and see, if you can't see the rollover, maybe you can, see it on the tick.
Hmm.
Or maybe you can't. Like talk with your crew. Do our ticks have the capability to see a rollover? Or like, just talking about it, learning, like you said, just having that positive mentality about always learning is, I think, huge.
For sure. Yeah. And for those of you who are listening and you don't know what a TIC is, TIC stands for thermal imaging camera.
Thank you.
I think most departments have them. Like I'm not aware of maybe some small like rural volunteer departments might not have them. But as far as I know, most career departments are going to have them, and they're going to be utilized
Yeah.
at every fire.
Yeah. Even like if like rural departments hopefully will have like one on the chief's truck or something.
Yeah.
Now they're coming out with they tried like the HUD ones. Have you seen that too? And
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. I've heard mixed reviews on them. I've heard people say that it like gives them like motion sickness.
hmm,
Um, but I mean, I think it'd be a great tool to have. I think we should all have them personally.
Yeah. On that
Um,
note, I think they actually have like personal ticks now. They're about the size of a cell phone, maybe a bit smaller. You can hook up to your gear.
okay.
It might be a little too expensive for, large municipal departments like ours, but I know some smaller departments are kind of going towards like personalized ticks because I agree with you. Like, I think everybody should have them.
Yeah.
If you're on the nozzle, if you're the guy behind the nozzleman, if you're the officer, like, yeah, even like the engineer outside, maybe he can see where the hot spots are, right? Just point that
For
thing
sure.
out there. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it'd be really useful for like everybody to have one for sure.
yeah. Um, yeah, that's kind of it, right? That was there anything else you wanted to say to find
No,
people listening?
that's pretty much it. Like just a quick like recap, right? Like a backdraft is essentially like an oxygen bomb. Like that's kind of one way of putting it, right? Like a fire deprived of oxygen. Oxygen's introduced into the environment, creates basically it kind of
Yeah,
blows up
yeah,
essentially, right?
yeah. I like that.
Flashover is when everything reaches its ignition temperature simultaneously and ignites.
Mhm.
And then like a rollover is essentially like an early warning sign that a flashover is about to occur or is close to occurring.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great way of putting it, buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a mentor, teach this to your young firefighters. If you're new to the job, make sure you know this. We hope it keeps you safe. And we hope that some of the stuff that we talked about today, you can actually utilize
Yeah.
in your life. And yeah, just stay safe out there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. We recently created a interview panel study guide. It's available on our website for you to purchase. It's $27. It's like 40 pages or something like that. Really useful tool if you have an interview coming up. If you can't afford a coach or whatever the case might be, it's definitely going to help you out quite a bit when it comes to the interviews. So definitely take a look at that.
Yeah. What do you got going on for the rest of the day?
Well, it's like almost 8 p.m. and so I'm gonna get back home, have a little bath time with the kiddo, and then put him to bed. And yeah, just gonna take it easy for the rest of the night.
Nice.
What about you? What do you got going on?
I want to have a bath with my kid, but I just have this irrational fear that she's just gonna shit all over the bathtub, and I'm just gonna be swimming in shit water. I don't know.
Poo water?
Yeah, is that rational? Do kids poo in like when they're submerged?
So Bo hasn't yet, but I know I have buddies who their kids have 100% done that.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm just gonna let her bathe on her own in her own little.
yeah, yeah. Figure it out. She'll figure it out. Right on.
So we have just created our Patreon program and it's online. We'll put a link in the description of this episode. It's got all our freebies on there. So it's got resume templates, the interview checklist,
The competitive edge checklist.
yeah, competitive edge checklist.
And we're also going to be diving into more in-depth interview episodes and hiring process stuff. And we're going to be posting it on there. It really does help us out because then we're able to pay Francesco for producing this podcast. If it wasn't for him, we'd be hooped.
You guys missed the part where we were just trying to turn this microphone on before this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we wouldn't be anywhere without him. So we'd like to start paying him a lot more.
And it's also going to be a way for us to just upgrade to better audio equipment, better cameras, better lighting, and all that kind of stuff to bring you guys a better experience with this podcast.
Yeah, and that was your idea actually, Damo, with the whole going over every interview question kind of in depth and really getting into the interview panel stuff.
Yeah, we'll be going into that in really great detail, really breaking apart the questions and just talking about like what they're actually asking in these questions, right? And yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of info, a lot of really, really good info.
And if it's not, let us know. We also have a chat group in there as well on Patreon.
That's right.
So if there's, guests you want us to see, bring on, or if there's questions you want us to ask or talk about on the podcast, you're more than welcome to ask us on there.
Yeah, for sure. And like when it comes to those behavioral / situational type questions, we can break down a question and talk about it for probably half an hour.
Yeah.
right? Just one question.
Easily.
So there's going to be a lot of really good info on that. And like we said, it's going to really help support the podcast so we can upgrade better equipment and also keep Francesco around so that way there is a podcast.
Like chaining him down to the table would be too cruel.
Yeah. Right on.
All right, buddy. Well, yeah, thank you all for listening. And yeah, hopefully that was useful, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Take care, guys.